Going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now we're live on Google Hangout. Been wanting to do one of these for a minute, just one of these like long, just hangouts where we talk about boxing. It's been a while since we've done them. It's 11:55 here on the East Coast here in Dania. Google Hangout. Hold on. Been wanting to do one of these for a minute, just one of these like long.
That wasn't a live video?
Huh?
It's not a live video?
It's live right now, yeah.
Oh.
We're live, but yeah, I have to shut down the sound. What's up, Duke? Yeah, man. Trying to do more of these. I'm not sure what my internet's looking like right now, but let me know. Let me know what we're looking like right now. I wanted to kind of talk about just like these fights coming up, man. Last night, especially like this whole week with the whole like McGregor versus Mayweather, circus that's going on. I've been wanting to talk about that, and I actually have videos coming out on that, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit because with this whole circus going on, it has a lot more eyes on boxing. You got UFC fans thinking that they know boxing. Like I was with my friend the other day, Jose Aldo, this dude Jose Aldo that McGregor beat was a harder puncher than Canelo and all these guys that Mayweather fought, Canelo and Maidana. And I'm no Mayweather fan, but just to hear that, got people who never watch boxing a day in their life talking like they're boxing experts. But there's not a lot of people here right now. There's only like 6 people here. So let me know what you guys want to talk about. Drop it here in the comments section. Anything, comment, whether it's boxing, it could be this McGregor fight. I'm here to talk to you guys. So for the next 3-4 hours or so, I'll be here, talking about whatever you guys want to talk about. So just leave the comments on the right hand in the chat box, and we'll definitely interact. We'll start with this Mayweather McGregor fight. So obviously it's August 26th. We've been seeing the whole press tour. We've seen just they've been to LA, they've been to Toronto, and last night they were in New York. Today they'll be in London. So I'm expecting the one today to probably be the most exciting one out of them all, because the one today, England fans, they really know how to get behind and support the vet. So I'm expecting to be excited. But as for the fight itself, I think it's definitely a circus. It's a spectacle. It's one of those things where we've never quite seen like this in combat. Colorful person. So yeah, okay. You didn't have the colorful personalities that you have in this fight, and you got 10,000 people, 15 that coming to see. That's usually I've covered. The press conference is usually like the most boringest part of the whole week. So it's interesting to see the press conference become the high. Paul, am I good?
For some reason, I can't load it on my phone.
Okay. But yeah, man, it's one of those things where it's definitely a spectacle. I'm trying to make sure my thing is sorted out, guys. So if I'm like talking and I'm kind of like,
sounds good to me.
It sounds good. Okay, cool. John Doe, what do you think about Ward and Kovalev 1 and 2? Well, I mean, I think I made my opinions on Ward and Kovalev pretty clear. Obviously the first fight, I thought Kovalev got robbed. In the second fight, I think Ward got away with some real dirty stuff, and it was just an injustice of boxing. But credit to Ward, he did his good work, and I kind of just want to move on from that fight. Ward got his W's, on paper, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I really don't want to talk about it anymore, but that's what it is. Reversely, what's up, man? How you doing? What you want to talk about? Yeah. Ward Kovalev is what it is, man. It's over. Hopefully Kovalev can come back and become world champion. I'm rooting for him. And Ward either moves with the cruiserweight, or fights for the undisputed title, or he just retires, because really there's not much for him to do more at this point in his career, in my opinion. John Doe, I think dirty is the new boxing. Yeah, man, it's one of those things where that's where we're at right now with that. Dirty being the new box. I mean, it seems like guys are allowed to get away with more now these days. Not even just a war. Think about the Jeff Horn fight. He was getting away with a lot of illegal tactics. It kind of seems like the actual craft of boxing and the rules of boxing are being ignored less and less every single day. Yeah, man, Duke. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. We're out here. I'm gonna be doing more. I'm actually, for you guys that don't know, I'll let the 8 people that are here know on a little secret. I'll be in Chicago next week. So next week I'm going to be in Chicago. I go to this thing every year called Legacy Conference. It's like this Christian ministry conference. If you guys don't know me personally, I'm really into I'm a youth leader at my church. So I go there every year just to learn new things and meet new people. So it's really good. I'll be in Chicago. I plan on doing some stuff with Adrian Granado, so be on the lookout for some exclusive stuff coming out. That's all I'm gonna say. Reversely says, who are you picking between Sullivan Barrera and Joe Smith Jr.? Well, that's a good question, Reverse. This is a fight where I think both fighters are. I think it's a fight that's on the level. Joe Smith Jr., contender level fighter. Barrera, contender level fighter. I think Barrera, if you guys have been paying attention to Barrera's career, and I have, because the guy that trains Barrera now is from South Florida, if you guys don't know, and that's Derek Santos. And if you look at Barrera, go back and watch him, the Andre Ward fight. When you watched him in the first Andre Ward fight, he was throwing a lot, he would throw punches and he would jab, and it was whatever. But they were all hard. He never knew how to change the velocity of his punches, and he never used the skills that he does have. It was really just about punching hard. And I think Abel Sanchez was training him the wrong way. What Derek Santos has done is he's been able to open up other parts of his skill set, and he's become better because of that. So if I had to pick based on skills, I'm picking Sullivan Barrera, because Sullivan Barrera is the more skilled fighter. But the younger, fresher, stronger fighter is Joe Smith Jr. So it's a tough fight to pick. I think I'm going to go out on a limb, and I will just for the skills, I'll pick Sullivan Barrera on that note. No, but you can't ever count out Joe Smith. The dude's I know he beat B-Hop, but people were picking against him for the B-Hop fight. And not just that, the Fanfara fight, he wasn't supposed to win. So you can't pick against Joe Smith Jr. He's a tough fighter. But I'm going with Barrera just because I think he's a more skilled fighter. I think the age might be the only thing that comes back to bite him in the behind. Let's see. You got Broner versus Garcia. That's a good question, man. Broner versus Garcia. Now, look, I'm not an Adrian Broner fan by any stretch of the imagination. I really don't like Broner. Anybody who's been on this channel knows that. But, I don't think he's going to win this fight. I'm picking Mikey Garcia to win. But I don't think it's smart to count him out as much as people are counting him out. If you get what I'm saying. I think Mikey should ice him if he is what they say he is. But, you got to look at who Mikey's fought. You got to look at, okay, who's the most athletic fighter he's ever fought? And he's been fighting guys like, Salido, I believe fought Salido, Famo Martinez. These guys are good fighters, definitely top-level fighters. But Broner is going to present new challenges for him, as far as hand speed, physical strength, athleticism. So I don't want to count Broner out as much as people are. Mikey Garcia, to me, being that he's moving up weight classes, going up and down, the weight, he might not be fully settled into the weight. So I'm going Mikey Garcia, but just don't count on Adrian Broner, man. That's what it is. Burchelt versus Mira. Who you got in that one? I don't know, man. Mira. I'm going Mira, man. I like Burchelt. I think he's a good fighter, but I think he's a certain level. Mira has proven himself at that top world level. Against even against Francisco Vargas. I think he had Vargas beat. Wasn't able to beat him. I know Burchelt beat Vargas, but triangle theory is always working boxing. So I'm gonna go Mira. I think with that, it's hard enough fighting a southpaw. But when you fight a southpaw who's has punching power, it's a whole different ball game. So yeah, I got Mira on that one. Crawford and Indongo, I got Crawford. I like Julius Indongo. I think he's gonna give Crawford some problems just because of the reach. Crawford's been fighting a lot of guys who have been real not even natural 140 pounders. So when you get guys like Indongo who are not just strong 140 pounders, but the 140 pounders that are long and rangy, he hasn't fought a guy like that. Postal is long and rangy, but he don't really have that power, and he's a little stiff. I like Postal, but that's just facts. So I think Crawford, we're not going to see the Terrence Crawford that was beating up Gamboa or put on a masterclass against Ray Beltran or beat up Hank Lundy. We're not going to see that Crawford. It's going to be a Terrence Crawford that's throwing really calculated, selective shots, and he's gonna try to outpoint this guy. If the knockout comes, it comes. But I think Crawford wins a decision. Something like 8-4, 9-3, something like that. So that's what it is there. But yeah, a lot of good fights coming up, man. A lot of good fights. I'm hoping myself, because with the channel, with me having more time off now, I'm getting some things in motion. I got my I got some stuff going on. I won't even talk about it too much, but I got stuff going on. So hopefully get what I want going in motion, and then go to these fights. We got and I was just gonna talk about that fight reverse. Roman Gonzalez versus Rungvisai. I'm a big Roman Gonzalez fan. I was at the Roman Gonzalez Quadras 1 fight, so I want to be at this fight with Rungvisai. Because Roman's probably one of the most exciting, forget boxers, athletes to see in person. And this comes from someone that I used to go to a lot of baseball games. I saw Barry Bonds. I saw all the best baseball players of my era, Sammy Sosa, hockey as well, Lemieux, Yager. Roman's right up there with some of the best, most exciting athletes I've seen in person. So, yeah, I want to be there for that. But as far as Quadras Estrada, that's Estrada all day for me. I like Quadras. I think he's a solid fighter. But one reason that he was able to have any success against Chocolatito was the fact that he basically was the bigger guy, and he was more naturally settled into the weight. Estrada, from a physical standpoint, he's very he's very fit for the weight, and his counter punching, his power, his boxing skills, I think they're just superior to Quadras across the board, in my personal opinion. Quadras throws a lot of arm punches, and he limits himself. Like he's not as effective as he could be. So I think Estrada gets a clear decision, in my opinion. Figueroa versus Guerrero. That's easy for me. I'm picking Omar Figueroa. I think Robert Guerrero, for the most part, he's done at 147. Like he's a gatekeeper at this point in his career. Omar Figueroa is coming off of a layoff, and I think he's gonna have a lot of ring rust. But I see him getting a decision over Robert Guerrero. Honestly, Mauricio Herrera versus Soto Cross. Now, see this one right here. This is an interesting fight. This is one that I haven't really put a whole lot of thought into. You have Mauricio Herrera, who I think he fought on the inaugural Golden Boy on ESPN card, and I'm pretty sure I picked up a W. And then before that, he had fought Frankie Gomez. So I think for Herrera, he's definitely past his best. He's not the Herrera that was fighting Jose Benavidez or nothing like that. But Herrera still crafty. He's still crafty. If you're crafty, if you're as crafty as Herrera was, it's hard to get a guy out there like that. And Soto Cross, he's a come forward fighter. Always been a all action fighter, and he's been in a lot of wars with Kamagai. He's been in a couple wars with Kamagai. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with I don't know. I guess I'll go with Herrera, just for the craftiness that he has, and I think we'll be able to outpoint him. But it's an interesting fight. Santa Cruz versus Mares. I don't know, man. I want Mares to win, but I think Leo will come in with the confidence of the Frampton fights. Mares has gotten better as far as his technical boxing under, I think, Joel Diaz is his trainer now. So obviously, you like to believe that he's better prepared for a fight with Santa Cruz, a rematch with Santa Cruz. But I think Leo has finally figured out that, hey, I'm pretty long and I'm pretty rangy for the weight, and I can use my jab, and he did it very well against Frampton. So if he comes in with that approach, I got Santa Cruz in that fight in the rematch, even though I'm not really a big Leo fan like that. Reversely says, what is your opinion on the tomfoolery going on in America concerning rules and officials? Now, look, we know that in America recently, we've been having a bad run here of corruption, and it kind of sucks because The other day I was watching. What was I watching? I think I was watching. I can't remember what fight I was watching, but I was watching some fight in England. I saw a referee deduct a point for excessive holding, and I'm like, man, that's almost an anomaly here. So, as far as my opinion on it, it really has to improve because, you got people. I feel like boxing is one of those things that, in America, boxing, whether people know it or not, is ingrained in our culture, like here in America, because we have had some of the greatest fighters ever lived come from America, and some of the most iconic sports phrases of all time, like down goes Frazier, like stuff like that. We have it ingrained in our culture. And I think people deep down want to get behind boxing in America, but they don't want to get behind it because of the perceived corruption. And when you factor in that the media has been painting it a certain way and they ignore the corruption that goes on in the UFC and how Dana White steals money from his fighters. Conor McGregor is the biggest name in the UFC, and you got Dana White. He's only making $3 million. Like, come on, man. So, I mean, it's something that's got to change, and I don't know how it's going to change or if it'll ever change, but it has to change, and boxing has to find a way to do what it's never done before, and that's, like, become more organized and police itself. So that's what it is. TheFightJournal.com. What's up, man? Fight Journal. Shout out to the Fight Journal. Go visit thefightjournal.com, guys. Good stuff on there. Shout out to my man Chip. Chip. But yeah, man. I mean, boxing's got to find a way to police itself at some point. I think Teddy Atlee said it best that it needs a unilateral control. I think that was the term he used, unilateral control. So Steve Sullivan asked me Berchelt versus Mira. I actually just answered this earlier. I got Mira winning just because of and I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you guys. His fight, Berchelt, I really haven't seen a whole lot on Berchelt, so I can't really say that my opinion is like the best when it comes to this fight. But based on what I've seen, the little I have seen of Berchelt, I got Mira winning. If he's not too like beat up from all those wars he had. But yeah, we got some good fights coming up. This weekend we got that PBC card. Mark, what's funny, guys? A fight that I'm actually excited about, believe it or not. It's a fight that I was asking for like about a year ago, and that's the Shawnee Monaghan Marcus Brown fight. I don't know if you guys remember that one. Or Marcus Brown, Shawnee Monaghan, the two light heavyweights from New York. Shawnee has been like one of those guys that they've been stacking. They've been putting on like untelevised portions of New York undercards for a while. And he's 35 years old. He's I'll come forward all-action fighter. Like, I'm surprised like HBO never put him on undercards because Shawnee can really he's really a TV-friendly fighter. He's got a TV-friendly personality, and he's always wanted to fight like the best fighters, but he hasn't got that chance. The closest he came to getting a top-level guy is if you guys remember, before Andre Ward fought Kovalev, Shawnee was one of the opponents rumored to fight Ward, but then they lowballed the hell out of him, and they wanted him to make all these crazy demands. They made all these crazy demands, and his team didn't want to do it, so that fell apart. But yeah, he's fighting Marcus Brown. Marcus Brown's a guy that recently defeated Thomas Williams Jr. and on the Granados Broner undercard, and he's trying to get his way back into light heavyweight title contention. So, that's what it is over there with Monaghan and Brown. I think it's going to be a good fight. It's one that I've wanted for quite some time. Miura has been training like his life depended on it. Has he? I haven't really been paying attention to that. I've been focused on these big fights. But that's good, man. I like Miura. I want to see him do well. I want to see him become world champion and just like get everything he can get in boxing because he's a good fighter and he's exciting to watch. I feel like guys who are exciting and put that extra foot forward to entertain the fans. I always root for those guys to do well in boxing. Now, forgive me if I get your name wrong, but Lusawis Robo, do you think jet lag is going to play a part in today's press conference between Mayweather and McGregor? You know what? That's a great question. That's something that I have not even considered, but I'm going to say that it doesn't. And I say that it plays a role maybe early on, as they're going on stage. But once they get on that stage and they get those UK fans behind them, I think that should be enough to push them forward and give us all the spectacle that we want to see. So, I want to see some new material because Mayweather has been saying the same thing every press conference. You know, yesterday he kind of he went a new route. You know, he took the money and he threw it up in the air and he called McGregor a stripper and said that he works for the girl collection and stuff like that. But I want to see something new from Mayweather, so hopefully we get something new from him. Baranchek versus Smith. Which Smith is he fighting? Ivan Baranchek versus which Smith? Ishe Smith? Is he fighting Ishe Smith? Ivan Baranchek? That dude can punch, by the way, but is Ivan Baranchek Ishe Smith? I assume, but I didn't know who he was fighting. I heard about him fighting somebody, but I didn't know. Is it Ishe Smith? Let me know in the comments. Because if it's Ishe Smith, Ivan should be able to beat Ishe, honestly. Ishe's kind of past it. Oh, Keenan Smith. Keenan Smith. Ivan Baranchek versus Keenan Smith. 11-0. Let's see, man. Keenan Smith. I really don't know much about Keenan Smith. Let me see. Who is this guy? Keenan Smith. Southpaw, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I don't know, man. I have no opinion on that fight. It sounds like it's an interesting fight, honestly. It sounds like it's an interesting fight. I don't know. I know Ivan Baranchek can punch really hard, and Keenan Smith is a southpaw from Philadelphia, so I'm assuming that he has to be some level of slick. So I don't know, but I'll keep my eye on that fight, and I'll give you my assessment after the fight's over because I really don't know much about Keenan Smith. He said that he intends to unify after he beats Berchelt. I like that. Always good to have unification fights. So shout out to Miura. Yeah, man, that was funny. McGregor, you gotta give it to McGregor, man. Like he's not, you know. And I have a video coming out on this soon, so you guys can see it once it comes out. Probably tomorrow it'll probably be out. But he's not even the best fighter in his own sport. Like Demetrius Johnson's pound for pound #1. He lost in ADS once. You know they've still even. He tapped. Oh, if you guys go look, this dude Conor McGregor, he's lost 3 times and. He's tapped out all 3 times, but the first guy he ever lost to, at the time he fought him, the guy was like 5-4, and now the guy he lost to, his first fight has 16 losses. So McGregor quit against a guy who had 16 losses. Like, dude was like 15 wins, 16 losses. I lost my mind when I saw that last night. So the video will be out on that tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. But Mayweather doesn't make money, he owes money. Well, he has a crazy lifestyle. Like I mean, I can't lie with you guys. Like, since he's kind of left boxing, not so much his antics, but there was parts of me that, like, when he wasn't holding as much, I did like Mayweather. I thought he was an A-level fighter all the time. But yeah, man, he has a crazy lifestyle. Like, I went to Vegas, he's got those big 6'8", 300-pound security guards. Like, the dudes are really the Great Wall. And he's got all these cars and people around him. Like, I've always thought that he's gonna wind up broke, and he wasn't as smart as everybody thought he was. But you know, my dad once told me when I was a kid, don't count another man's money. So I'm not gonna worry about his money, just worry about my money and trying to make it with this boxing thing. But that's what it is, man. Mayweather and his money, that's of no concern to me. Sullivan Barrera. Yeah, man, I like Sullivan Barrera. Shout out to him and Derek Santos. It's gonna be a good fight this weekend. Versus another good fight. For a while, Willie is very slick. Willie's a solid fighter. I don't think people are really, ironically, I really don't think people have seen the best of Willie Monroe Jr. He's not really a 60-pounder. He's a guy who has a 160-pound frame, but he don't have that power that carries up to 160 pounds. So, but you know, Saunders not a hard puncher either, and he had a lot of problems with Arthur Akavov. So I'm gonna probably go with Monroe just because I think he's the more skilled fighter. John Doe says he has equity, not liquidity. Absolutely, he doesn't. He talks about a lot of real estate, but he's not like he ain't banking like that. We know he's not banking like that. Like, people always want to talk about And it's crazy because, you know, for those, I get a lot of funny comments on here. Like, I get a lot of these people who like Andre Ward and Mayweather, and they have the audacity to call me racist, and they say, "Oh, you don't like black fighters," when, you know, my wall is covered with nothing but black fighters and athletes. Like my favorite basketball player is Kemba Walker, and it's funny because it's hilarious to me because people, a lot of you guys don't really know me on that level. But I went to a high school where 66% of the population was Hispanic and black kids. Minority, it was dominated by minorities. So you can't you can't come from where I come from in South Florida and not get along with people of other like what you call it other ethnicities. And I forgot why I was even saying this. Why did I even bring this up? I forgot. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. I forgot why I brought this up. Because I'm losing my memory. Because from I don't know. Anyway, have you actually watched any Billy Joe Saunders fights? To say Willie Monroe is a better fighter suggests you haven't actually seen his fight. No, I have seen his fights. I watched him fight. I watched like a handful of. I watched the Akavov fight, Andy Lee, and a couple other fights against some random guys I can't remember. But nah, he's a good fighter. It's just the ring rust. It's the ring rust really that gets me going with Billy Joe Saunders. Like I think he's a skilled fighter, but I don't know. I don't know if he'll be able to come off that long of a layoff and beat a Willie Monroe. But I want to see it, man. I believe it or not, I haven't actually seen the Eubank Jr. fight, so that's probably one that I should go back and watch. I'm trying to figure out why I brought that whole demographic thing up, though. I forgot why. Anyway, I picked Mikey Garcia. I picked Mikey Garcia, Steve, because I think Mikey's just a better fighter, and Broner really. You know, I think Mikey, unlike Granados, I like Granados. Granados is a good friend of mine, and I think he's still one of the best fighters at 140. But Mikey Garcia, unlike Granados, I think he does a much better job of keeping his range. So he'll be able to do that, and Broner won't be able to kind of use his physical strength as much. Because you notice, like, Granados was landing some good shots. When they would get into their exchanges, he would land a number of good shots. He actually hurt him twice in the second round and the seventh round. If you guys watch the fight, his legs buckled in the second and the seventh round. And the reason that Broner was able to have success and was able to get a decision was because of the holding and the fact that he's so strong. Granados wasn't able to really work on the inside like he did with Amir Imam. So I don't know, man. I think I got Mikey Garcia, but I think people are doubting Broner a little too much. I think he's the most athletic fighter Mikey's ever fought in his whole career, in my opinion. I don't. Broner's a big guy. I don't know Broner, but if he can, that'd be a statement, in my opinion. That'd be a statement. Dude, never been stopped. Only guy that has basically dropped him is Maidana, really. Who do you think has worse fans, Ward fans or Floyd fans? You know what's funny? I'll say this. I'll definitely say, because it's funny, because I used to think when Ward came back off the layoff and people wanted to start crying on pound for pound number one, I used to think that like Ward fans and Floyd fans were the same, but they're not. There's people that specifically like Ward and don't like Floyd. So my personal opinion, I've encountered both fan bases live and in person. You know, I went to the Mandalay Bay. I was cheering for Kovalev. I was saying that Ward was a fake Bernard Hopkins and all that stuff. So I've encountered the Ward fans in person. I've definitely encountered a lot of Floyd people in person, just be going to his gym and seeing him at the convention and being in Vegas. I would definitely say without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Ward fans, man. It's the Ward fans, because at least the Floyd fans, you get people who actually like really follow boxing, like for the most part, that they really they can tell you why Floyd is a great fighter, and they tell you why Ward is a great fighter. They'll say like, oh, he won the Super Six, and You know, they can't really tell you what's great about his actual skill set, and that's what it is. So to me, it's the Ward fans. But moving on Broner, do you think Garcia? Oh, wait, yeah, that would be a massive statement. It would be. So yeah, man. It's what it is. But you know, oh yeah, shout out to Sinisa Estrada, the beautiful Sinisa Estrada. She'll be fighting on July 21st somewhere in California. So it'd be cool to see her in action again. You know, it's funny if you guys don't follow like the women's boxing. She, aside from her being really, really attractive, like she's a really good fighter. Like she's a really, really good fighter. I actually enjoy watching her fight. John Doe, Ward definitely had all the tactics to neutralize and frustrate Kovalev. He did. He did. I think, you know, and you know what too. You know, it's funny because now that the fight's kind of, it's been over for it happened over almost a month ago. So my emotion, I'm not as emotionally pissed off as I was when I was making those videos. But it's Kovalev's fault too, man. Because Kovalev didn't retaliate. He should have retaliated with, if Ward hits him in the nuts, he's got to retaliate back. Like I was talking to somebody because I actually went to the heavyweight factory this week, and I was talking to one of the guys there, the old trainer, a guy named Jesse Robinson. He worked at the Crawford gym, and he was telling me about how a lot of guys in the past have lost fights by not retaliating because of the low blows, and guys get away with that, and before you know it, the other dude gets stopped. So a lot of something goes on Kovalev, and the tactics. Maybe he was scared to retaliate because he knew in his heart that they wouldn't actually like. They wouldn't call it fair. Maybe in his mind, if he retaliated with a low blow, then he knows in his mind that they're going to deduct a point, and he didn't want to take that risk because he already knows that the card is going to be razor close anyway. So that could be that could be what played a role in him not retaliating. No. But yeah, he had all the tactics for sure. What do you think about the Eubank Jr. Abraham fight this week? You know, this is a fight for me, honestly. I like Eubank. Like I watched this fight with Renault Quillen, and Renault Quillen is not like Renault Quillen is no world beater, but I like Eubank Jr. I think his athleticism, his frame, his athletic ability, definitely can give a lot of guys problems. But this is a fight that if he can't win it, you know, it's not a good look for him because this is a guy, Arthur Abraham, who's been beaten and battered a lot recently. He's been taking losses left and right. Even in his prime, he was very slow, very methodical, plotter. If you can't beat this kind of guy, then you got problems. So that's what it is there with Eubank Jr. and Arthur Abraham. It's a fight he should win, and if he wins it, he goes into the World Boxing Super Series. You know what? I want to ask you guys a question because a lot of boxing fans have been talking about this tournament, this Champions League of boxing. What do you got? Who do you guys got winning in the World Boxing Super Series in the 168 pound class and the cruiserweight class? I got in the cruiserweights, I think Usyk is gonna win, and in 168 I got Callum Smith. Who you guys got? Is it Mario Barros? If it's Mario Barros, I'll pick Mario Barros. Wrong Versailles and Ward, the head buddies. It's funny. What do you think about Ward versus Bellew at heavyweight? Versus heavyweight like Bellew. If Ward wants to fulfill his ambitions of like going to heavyweight and winning a fight, you know, Bellew doesn't have a title. Ward said he wants to get a title at heavyweight. So, you know, if he's able to go up to heavyweight and fight a Tony Bellew, that's the fight that makes a lot of sense for Ward because Bellew isn't a big heavyweight, bigger than Ward, but not a big heavyweight. And it's a fight that Ward could win. I'd probably pick him to beat Bellew. As much as I love Bellew. I love Bellew. If you guys don't know, in fact, I'll show you. I mean, I love Bellew. It's not hard to see why. You know, it's pretty easy to see why I love Bellew. You know, you guys don't watch. If you guys watch soccer, you know it's pretty easy to see why. You know, Bellew's an Evertonian. I'm an Evertonian, so I mean, I love Bellew. I'm personally hoping that if he has a fight that's not a farce, like if it's not a Ward fight, but like let's say if he fights a Wilder or if he fights a big name cruiserweight, if he does fight at Goodison Park where Everton plays, I want to go. That's a big dream of mine. But Let's see. But I think it is a fight that shouldn't happen. Okay. John Doe says, I think a lot of people fail to realize that a lot of these fighters are built up off of unprepared or negative records. Are you talking about like padded records, John? Because, yeah, that's true. Like, a lot of fighters do wind up having these padded records. They be fighting nobodies. But, yeah, it's funny. George Grove is one of those guys. Like, I feel like every time I watch him fight, like, I feel like he should be better. Like, I feel like his career should have went better. Like, he's one of those guys in boxing. Like, yeah, he's now become a world champion, and I'm glad he has. And he's coming into this tournament as the #1 seed, but he don't feel like the #1 seed to me in that tournament. Like, he don't feel like the best fighter in that tournament to me. I think Halo Smith is a better fighter. But even just that, like, when you look at George Groves' career, when you watch him fight, for me personally, he's one of those guys that I've always felt should have had a better career, you know. And unfortunately for him, you know, the first Froch fight, a lot of people thought that was a premature stoppage. And the second Froch fight, he was up on the cards, but then he got clipped with a right hand. So, you know, it sucks, but it is what it is. Hopefully he can win this tournament. Maybe this tournament is what he needs to, you know, get his legacy up. But reversely asked, why are the Dirrell brothers such trash now? Now look, as far as Anthony Dirrell, he's whatever to me. I never really cared much for Anthony Dirrell, but as far as Andre Dirrell, I've always liked Andre Dirrell. Whether you know it or not, is a friend of the channel. He's a friend of TSS. I see him around the local boxing scene. I've seen him at the Fifth Street Gym. I've seen him at the Lara fight. I saw him recently at the Florida Golden Glove semifinals at the Heavyweight Factory. So Dirrell is a good friend of mine, but it's just like anything else, man. It's the ring rust. It's not being in the ring for a while, and that's what it is. It's been the ring rust, and it's eroded and declined his skills. You know, we all remember Dirrell in the Super Six he should have been the guy that fought Ward. I think if he would have fought Ward, he would have given Ward a lot harder problems. Now, I don't know if he would have been able. I don't know if Dirrell would have had the toughness to be on the inside of Ward, but he definitely had all the quickness, athleticism, counter punching you would need to beat an Andre Ward. Yes, the Utsugai fight was terrible for Dirrell. The way that whole thing played out. Talking about Adonis Stevenson? Yeah, he did. It sucks, man. It sucks. Just a Jezreel Corral. Is that Jezreel Corrales versus Castellanos? I'll go with Jezreel Corrales, man. I like Jezreel Corrales. I think he's got that one. You know what's funny? I think the same thing actually. Like, you guys know, I don't like Andre Ward at all, but I think he beats Adonis Stevenson easy. I think Kovalev was the best light heavyweight. Kovalev was the best light heavyweight, and you know, he was able to, despite what I may think about the corruption and stuff like that. Like, there was a lot of corruption, more than usual, but he still did his good work. I don't want to take that away from him. He did land some good shots on the belt. He had some rounds where he landed some good shots on the belt. The straight right hand was a punch that he landed that was effective for him later on in that fight. So I don't want to take away what he did well, but yeah, I think Kovalev I've always thought Kovalev was the best light heavyweight. And it's hilarious because people will always have this revisionist history. Like, they'll say, like, Kovalev ducked Stevenson, and there was nobody that wanted to fight Stevenson, which is BS because Kovalev had more freedom with his promotional situation than Stevenson had. Adonis can't even like speak for himself half the time with Al Heyman. Adonis would blast Ward. I disagree with that. I mean, personally, if it happened, great. I don't like Andre Ward, but no way at all. Because I think Andre take away that left hand easily, and once you take away that left hand from Adonis Stevenson, what does he have really? Doesn't really have much after that left hand. Yeah, he did it to Kovalev. Did it to himself, man. I think he did it to himself. He beat himself mentally because I thought he was a better fighter than Ward. He proved it in the first fight, and he proved it in spots of the second fight. But he just He broke down as the fight wore on, man. It sucks to say, but it's true. And remember, if they fight, Adonis has to be on the same juice as Ward. Well, you know what's funny? His muscle definition just out of nowhere looked better than it did in the first fight. Like, I was trying to figure out what the hell did he do in his training camp that was so different? Like, because usually in your training camps, like for fighters, I've been in some camps, like you don't not much really changes. You might get a new trainer, you might do a couple things differently, but like his muscle definition was like much better than usual. So I don't know. I'm not gonna accuse the guy of nothing, but they weren't on Novada testing. Did you pick Smith versus Barrera? Yeah, I did. I picked Barrera. I got Barrera winning just because I think he's a more skilled fighter, and it's a tough fight to pick though, because even though I'm picking Barrera, I can't really pick him with with sheer confidence because Joe Smith's he's hungry. He really wants the best fighters. So I'm picking Barrera, but part of me is rooting for Joe Smith just because, you know, the story and the fact that he has that ambition to want to fight the best guys. Who wins between – and you know what? Hold on. Reversely, you're probably right. That's probably exactly how he'll take away the left, is by holding the hell out of Stevenson. But, you know, I'm not so sure he'd be able to hold Stevenson like that. Stevenson's both more physically strong than Kovalev, so I don't know about that one. Ward outboxes Stevenson, but I think he's going to beat him. It wouldn't matter. He would beat – I think he beats him like 10-2, something like that. It would not be a competitive fight. Who wins Joshua versus Klitschko? That's easy for me. I'm picking Joshua all day. I think once you get that education of being, you know, in the ring with Vladimir for not just for 11 rounds, going through a knockdown, having some adversity, and then you come up and you stop him, he has to be a whole different fighter now, a much different fighter now. And this Joshua now moving forward is one that, like, okay, if you were going to beat an Anthony Joshua, you had to fight him while he was green. And now that he's had that experience, I'm not so sure that there's anybody that could beat him right now. I mean, eventually, you know, you get that one guy and every dog has their day, but right now it looks like he could be reigning for quite some time. Let's see. Alex says GGG would have won the super middleweight World Boxing Super Series tournament. I think so. I think he would have beat most of those guys, pretty much all those guys. Yeah, I think he would have won it. But I don't know, man. We've never seen a fight at 168, so we're just going off what we know of him at 160, and maybe our assessments would be fair. But I would have liked to see him do that, and I'm glad that they're doing this. I hope it becomes a consistent thing that, you know, is good for boxing because, you know, we need more organization like this in boxing, and you know, they got guys from America in the tournament, guys from Europe. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this all plays out. I think it will wind up being kind of like, you know, the Champions League of boxing. If you guys watch soccer, the UEFA Champions League, it's kind of the same concept. Even the freaking theme music is the same as a Champions League kind of. If you guys don't know, the trophy, the Muhammad Ali trophy that they made for the tournament, for the winner of the tournament, was actually made by the same people who made the Champions League trophy. So fun fact there. Ortiz can be beat, but he doesn't want that fight. Yeah, man. Hold on. Personally, because Luis Ortiz trains in Miami, and I know a lot of people who train with Luis Ortiz or who have trained Luis Ortiz. So every now and then I hear things about how he looks in training, and it sounds like he's past it, to be honest with you guys. And you know, he's getting up there in age. Like he can't even take steroids stuff like that no more. So I don't know. I don't think Luis Ortiz is. I think he had the skills to beat Joshua, but can his body do what his mind wants it to? I don't know. It's hard when we get to that age. Yeah, that's the interesting thing. The champ is here. I would actually be very. That's probably the most interesting thing to me about the rematch, because I'm not really excited for a Klitschko Joshua rematch. I think the first one was so good. Like, why would you try? It's like a movie. Like when the first good and they make a sequel just because they want more money, like the sequels always wind up sucking. So I'm hoping they don't do the rematch and they can both move on. Vlad retires, had a signature fight. Joshua can move on and fight the younger guys and fulfill his mandatories. Yeah, so that's probably the only interesting thing to me is how would he approach fighting Joshua in the second fight? Because what more could he really do differently than he did in the first fight? Archer Spilka versus Konaki. I don't know. It's funny, man. I don't really know much of these guys on the PBC cards. Like, so I can't really say that one. Let me see. Look at this guy's resume. Be a box rec guy real quick. Be a box rec analyst. Konaki. What's his first name? Adam Konaki. From Poland. 6'3". Is he a cruiserweight? Sounds like a freaking cruiserweight. Oh, yeah, heavyweight. By there all the time. I don't know. I gotta watch some tape on him. I can't really make a real opinion, but the dude seems to be solid. Let's see his biography. He's got an 80% knockout percentage, 15-0 with 12 knockouts. I want to see what's this dude's New York Golden Gloves, 2 times 06 and 09. Yo, this guy sounds like he's probably good. I gotta watch some film of him to really say anything, but it sounds like he could fight. So we'll see. Trevor L says these 2 tournaments top off one of the greatest years in the history of boxing. Think about how many great fights we've had so far this year, and we still have GGG versus Canelo. Yeah, man, this year's been great because last year was kind of disappointing. We had a lot of like fighters pulling out. We had guys ducking each other. All kinds of crazy stuff going on. So hold on. So yeah, man, we've had so many significant fights. We've had Garcia Thurman, DeGale Jack, Granados Broner, Joshua Klitschko. I mean, if you want to count it as boxing, we're getting Mayweather and McGregor. We had Pacquiao on ESPN. It's been a great year. Great year, man. As far as GGG Canelo, man, I'm excited for that fight, man. It's one of those fights that it's definitely going to be one of those fights, regardless of what happens, 10, 15, 20 years from now, boxing fans will talk about this fight because it's a fight between the 2 best fighters in the weight class. Or we can't call Canelo a middleweight. He really hasn't been fighting on middleweight, but it's 2 big names, 2 guys around the weight, 2 guys that people have wanted to see get in the ring for a while. Gennady needs it for his legacy. He's kind of been fighting a bunch of people that are good fighters, but a lot of the boxing world doesn't want to give Gennady his proper credit. They say he's been fighting nobodies. So he needs this fight to have that name on his resume. And for Canelo, his career, his last 3 fights has been a farce. It's been nothing short of a farce fighting Liam Smith, Amir Khan, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. His career recently has been a farce. So he needs to legitimize himself because when you really think about it, who has I mean, he beat any top fighter like that. So this fight for him, it definitely needs legitimacy. Oh, okay. Thurman versus Spence. Oh my God! I don't know how long. I don't know if you subscribe to me or if you watch the channel, but that fight right there, I've been saying for a year. I said last year, like I was saying it. Confidence in Sheffield, beating a guy. I think he's gonna destroy Keith Thurman. I've always thought that, but I'm trying to see. Am I live right now? It says I'm off. Yo, guys, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? The camera went off for a little bit. All right, all right, cool. I'm back. All right, good. I'm finally back. But I was talking about GGG versus not GGG. Earl Spence versus Keith one-time Thurman. Like, definitely a skilled boxer, but he hasn't really ever fought a fighter that cut off can spot like Earl. So I think I got Earl in a destruction. I think he'll beat Keith rather soundly if they ever fight. But it's a fight that I think should happen. Steve Sullivan asks, where does the winner move towards the next fight for Canelo and GGG? That's a good question, man, because when you look at it, right, the landscape of 160, there's not like a ton of options there right now. Hold on, guys, this is ridiculous. There's not a whole lot of options for either Canelo or GGG. So I don't know. Canelo, will he make him up to 168? You know, I don't see him doing that, and I don't see. I mean, I've always wanted to see GGG at 168. So for Canelo, I think he'd be content to stay there at 160 and take a bunch of like easy fights and defend that title should he win. And if GGG wins, you know, I think he should retire. I think he should retire, or if not retire, pursue the Billy Joe Saunders fight and become on this and retire. But I think the end is going to be near for GGG. He doesn't have like a whole lot of fight stuff. He's getting up there in age, so yeah, that's the crazy thing about this fight because for both of them, there's really not many options for them after this, unless Canelo's going to fight like Errol's. You know what? Ironically, I think, and you guys might think I'm crazy for this, but Errol Spence is huge for welterweight. He's not really a welterweight. I don't know how he's 147. He's really a 154-pounder masquerading as a welterweight. And because of that, I think one day you could definitely see Errol Spence fight Canelo. I always thought that because of his weight, because of his size, and that they're both from Texas as well. Canelo's from Texas, but it's almost the same thing. Canelo has a massive fan base in Texas. That one day, if they're able to market Errol Spence and he can get his name a little bit bigger, he's going to that fight will be a Cowboy Stadium fight. I see it happening in the future if they're smart. The only reason they want to make it happen is because Canelo Alvarez or Oscar De La Hoya wants to protect Canelo Alvarez, and he's afraid of taking on something as high risk as Errol Spence Jr. But yeah, that's what it is there. So it's 12:07. We're almost to the first hour of this. I'm going to be on for probably a couple more hours talking boxing. So what I want you guys to do, if you can, take the link to this, and if you guys got Facebook, Twitter, whatever, go share this link somewhere. Invite your friends. Do what you got to do. What you got to do, man. Let's get some more people in here. I think the most we had earlier was 22, and now we have 12. So. But yeah, Spence is a huge welterweight, man. I don't know how he makes it. You know what? While I'm sitting here talking to you guys, let's look at the boxing news. Let's see what's popping in the boxing world that we can talk about. I want to see what's going on. Where Manny Pacquiao was pissed off about the Jeff Horn thing, and he said he wants to batter him and beat him up or something like that. I don't know. I think I saw an article like that on Boxing Scene. Absolutely, you're right. Spence could get one of the. Spence is in an interesting position because he's big enough to go up to 160 and fight a guy like Canelo, but he's also somehow finds ways to make the 147 and fight Danny Garcia, and fight like Keith, could fight the Kell Brooks of the world and things like that. So he's an interesting guy. Honestly, I think by like middle of 2019, you could definitely think about. You can definitely see Canelo versus Errol Spence. No doubt about it in my mind. Trying to see. Shawnee Monaghan versus Brown. Lomachenko says he will head up to 135 if no good fights come at 130. So people are going to say he's ducking Rigondeaux. Rigondeaux is saying he's going to fight at 130, although Rigondeaux is much bigger than myself. I don't know how the hell he'd make 130. And this is the guy, Rigondeaux. You know, I like him and he's a good fighter, but when has Rigondeaux ever made concessions to anybody? He's never been one of those guys to make concessions to anybody. So, and you know it's funny, like I like Rigo, but like I think obviously he's one of the greatest amateurs of all time. Obviously, Rigo beat a guy, no need to Donaire. But I mean, come on, man. The dude recently, we look at what recently he's done. He hasn't done much. You know, he fought a Jazz Dickens that wasn't that highly ranked. You know, he fought Moises Flores, who was decent, but that fight ended pretty bad. I don't know, man. I'm not like one of those people that's crazy for Loma versus Rigo. You know, if it happens, it happens. Good. Like I wouldn't mind seeing it happen. But it's just one of those things where like Rigondeaux Lomachenko isn't a fight to me that has to happen. It doesn't really have to happen. Because I'm not even sure it would be an entertaining fight. You know, to be honest with you. But if it happens, great. I think it'd be great for boxing if it happened. Rigo would get clapped. It could very much happen. He's old, and that's not his natural weight, so it's very possible. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I know, man. That's for me. Sometimes I'll be getting like Trevor. I'm talking to Trevor right now. As far as the numbers and views and stuff, yeah, it can get a bit discouraging at times. Like when you see like, I can't even lie. When you see like these bigger channels, you guys know the names, and you feel like you're just as good as them, and you don't get the numbers, you know, it can get discouraging. But you're right, man. You just got to keep working and pushing through it, and people will come around. You know, the cream. My philosophy is that the cream always rises to the top, and I feel like now more time and doing more videos, and I got some interesting things in the works. You know, the cream will rise to the top. So that's what it is. But I'm not worried about it. Don't worry about it. It's boxing talk. Flyweight Pac-Man versus Roman Gonzalez. Who wins? That's a freaking phenomenal question. I've never thought about that. Flyweight Manny Pacquiao versus the freaking GOAT, Roman Gonzalez, man. I love Roman Gonzalez. Roman Gonzalez, I don't know, man. I think Pacquiao's – see, here's my thing about that fight. Pacquiao's always had that amazing lateral movement, but then Chocolatito's had the same – he's had great movement himself, and he's always been able to cut off the ring really, really well, and every punch he throws is on balance. So because – and this might sound crazy, but because – Roman has that ability to throw punches on balance, stay on balance, and Pacquiao lunges in sometimes. I don't know, at flyweight, where Roman has punching power and can hurt people, man, I'd probably favor him in that fight. But I don't know, maybe I'm just being biased. I like Roman that much. But it's a great hypothetical fight. Maybe I'll do a video on it one day. Mr. Boxing Today, that's my man right there. Shout out to Mr. Boxing Today, one of the best YouTube channels in all boxing. The rivals.com/baseball America of freaking heavyweight boxing. The guy's the man. But he says he's not sure who would win between Loma and Rigo. I would favor Lomachenko just because that's very much above Rigo's best fighting weight. I mean, I've seen Rigo in person multiple times. Most recently, I just saw him a month ago in Vegas. He's not a very big guy. And I'm not talking about. I'm talking about being not a very big guy for where Lomachenko was fighting at, which is 130 right now. He's not a big guy for that weight class. So one thing that makes Rigo really good is the fact that he has, believe it or not, punching power. People don't talk about his punch. He has punching power. If he moves up, I'm not sure that it's going to carry up with him. And being that Loma is younger as well, you know, I would probably favor Loma, but it's interesting to think about. Yeah, man. Thank you, Fight Journal. Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I try my best. Reverse Lee says I pick Roman Gonzalez. I mean, yeah, man. I'd pick Roman, like I said though. And you know, when you talk about flyweight Pacquiao, like the best version of Pacquiao. Like he wasn't at his best at flyweight. Like he was good. He was definitely sensational. He could punch really, really hard at the weight. But as far as like knowing where to go around the ring and just like ring IQ, forget the box offensive and be of that effective. Like it's one thing to be a guy like a Floyd or a Rigo who can conserve their punches and picks their shots, which is nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. As a boxing fan and someone who covers boxing, you got to learn how to appreciate all the styles, and I do. But it's a lot harder to fight going forward and the punches and getting hit only so many times. I think Roman, because Roman can do that, you know, he's bringing IQ to a level, so that's what it is there. But thank you, Trevor. I'll see. Oh man, hold on. Okay, cut out again. Oh no, okay, right, I'm good. But yeah, man, take it out. Take it easy, Trevor. I'll see you later. Thank you for being on. And yeah, hopefully you watch the videos that come out tomorrow. I got videos coming out tomorrow. I got about 7 or 8 coming out tomorrow. EJ Craver, shout out to you, EJ. I'm pretty sure you're from the UK, so shout out to you over there in the UK. White versus Bryant Jennings, and who wins? Now that is a very good fight. 2 contender level fighters. One guy in Dillian White who's been fighting like the Derek Chisoras, Anthony Joshua's in the world. You would be led to believe that he's a lot sharper than Bryant Jennings. Bryant Jennings been out the ring since late 2015. If we're talking about the skills and who wins, I think I pick Bryant Jennings. I think he's a better fighter than Dillian White. But it's like with anything else. You know, ring rust and how sharp you are and how active you've been, that does play a part in how you will look on fight night. But if I would pick Bryant Jennings. I think Bryant Jennings is a better fighter. And Bryant Jennings is an interesting guy because he's cut, you know, he's cut up. He's in really good shape. He's on the whole vegan thing. But when you watch a fight, and I like him, all respect to him, he's a friend of the channel. But he's one of those guys that like he's not. There's not really anything about his skill set that stands out. Like he's kind of just very good at a lot of things, but not really great at any one thing in particular. So I don't know, man. I pick Jennings, but that'd be an interesting fight. Yeah, a lot of people thought Chisora beat Dillian White. I thought Chisora had beat White too.
Yo, do you think it's like both of us are on the internet, it probably slows down the stream?
Yeah.
So I have to probably go somewhere then.
Probably, yeah, you want to?
Yeah, I'll go somewhere.
All right.
Just text me when
I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be done around like 3.
All right.
All right.
I'll leave him a little bit.
But yeah, a lot of people thought Chisora. A lot of people thought Chisora beat White. They did. I thought he did too. But regardless of the fact, you know, you got to give Dillian White his credit. He's been taking on some good name, tough heavyweights. You know, Joshua, then Chisora. These are guys that are top 15 caliber fighters. And, you know, Jennings was in there with 2 of the best at the time he fought them, Klitschko and Ortiz. So he's been in there with some killers too. And he's also been in there with Arthur Spilka and Mike Perez. So, you know, he's no stranger to tough heavyweights. I think on experience, athleticism, skill set, Jennings should win that fight. But it's one that I like to see for sure, especially when you factor in the fact that they had like beef and stuff. It's a fight that I definitely like to see. I want you guys to let me know what city, what state are you guys watching from? Where are you guys from? Obviously, you guys know where I'm at. I'm not a hard guy to find. Dania, Florida, South Florida in the building as always. Jessica from Dania. Yeah, but let me know what city, what state, what continent are you guys from? But wow, beat. You know, it's crazy. I keep hearing around, the word around that I keep hearing is a shot fighter, a very well-respected trainer that I ran into the other day. I'm not gonna say who, but let's just say he knows about heavyweight boxing. He told me that he thinks that hold on, man. He told me that he basically thinks that Luis Ortiz has passed it. That Luis Ortiz is done at the top level. So I don't know, man. Is 84 inch reach enough. He fight inside. I think we could possibly out hustle Jennings. Good. I'm trying to figure out, does he not use his reach? Like I've seen Brian Jennings in person. Like the first time I met Brian Jennings in person, and I met him, I was walking with Miller because Dirrell Miller. So we were at the year, and Dirrell and Brian and myself. Jennings has longer arms than Dirrell. So when I get used myself, like, why the hell did he not use his long reach? I don't know, man. That is true. You're very correct, Mr. Boxing today. He's been getting some good work here in South Florida with all those guys. For most of those guys you mentioned. So you can't. That's when you're sparring guys like that, it definitely helps. Reverse Lee says Inoue versus Kawasai Galaxy. Come on, bro. Honestly, I'm a big Roman Gonzalez fan. I'm the #1 Roman Gonzalez fan there is. That dude's my favorite fighter, like maybe ever. But even I don't think I would pick against. I don't even think I'd pick Gonzalez to beat Inoue. That dude is ridiculous. I mean, the guy can jab. He's a hard puncher. He's got good lateral movement. He can swap all orthodox, punch going backwards, punch going. There's not a day, like, as far as I've seen so far from the guys who've been fighting. And on top of that, I'm picking probably anybody to beat him at that weight class. They got to show. I have to be wrong before I start picking against that guy, because that guy so far, being as young as he is, being as skilled as he is, and the fact that he's getting better and better every fight, I don't really see him unless he fights Roman, because Roman's really the only guy I think can beat him. Who's Sir Thug says, no, you're wrong. What am I wrong about? Please, 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 what am I wrong about? Be specific. I need to know exactly what it is I'm wrong about. You can't just say, no, you're wrong. But I'm not picking no. That guy so far, I think Roman really, I don't think Estrada will beat him, because I don't think Estrada is going to outpoint him the whole fight. Eventually, I think Estrada will get clipped. Quadras don't have the punching power to keep Inoue honest. And Roman's the only one that I can see beating, because Roman, as small as he is still strong enough to hold his ground even at 115. And the fact that he has great conditioning and can throw thousands of punches, I can see maybe out hustling him and getting a decision. And plus, Inouye's chin hasn't really been all that tested yet. So, Surge from Phoenix. Let's see. Mr. Boxing today says none of these smaller dudes would have beat a prime Michael Carbajal. LOL, he was one of my favorites growing up. Well, you know, Michael Carbajal, man, that guy had all the power in the world. He had all the skills in the world. The dude was, you know, it's funny. Most of you guys can't see it because the pictures on the wall ain't big enough. But I have like these boxing cards on my wall. Like right here is Prince Nassim. Right here is Lennox. Right here is Ray Robinson. Right here is Boy. And then Michael Carbajal is right here. So Michael Carbajal has a spot on the wall. I don't know. I can't say that. I mean, we can't say that for sure. I think Roman. Flyweight, not throwing Gonzalez at not at this current weight, but I'm talking about the Roman Gonzalez that fought like Edgar Sosa or Valoria, or even when he won a lineal title. I think that Roman Gonzalez could beat a Michael Carbajal, but I don't know. I asked Michael. Hold on. I actually interviewed Michael Carbajal about this earlier this year. I asked him like, how would you fight Roman Gonzalez? And I forgot what he said, but he said he would beat Roman Gonzalez, obviously. So I don't know. I think another great fantasy matchup, although it's never going to happen. But what's up from Phoenix, Serge? I'm still trying to figure out, Sir Thugs. What am I wrong about? KO in 10 seconds. Who's been KO'd in 10 seconds? Mayweather? Mayweather gonna get McGregor? McGregor gonna kick his ass? It's funny, guys. Like I remember, my friend, one of my best friends in the world, Hamid. He thinks McGregor is gonna. Mayweather, and he's like serious too. Like he'll be like, McGregor's got the youth, he's got the reach, he's got Mayweather fighting with this kind of power. Like almost sounds like Dana White half the time when he talks about. Who do you got in the Stavern versus Wilder rematch? Oh, that's easy. I got Wilder all day in that one. I like Stavern, but he's from what I've seen, because I watched Stavern train this year, and I know a couple of his trainers. They just told me about Stavern and his training habits. They're not very good from what I hear and from what I saw. Like obviously he was there, he was training, he was cutting his weight, but from everything I've heard, he has a lack of drive, and even just that, Wilder beat him the first time. I really don't know what Stavern could do much differently in this next fight. Wilder was able to fight really long with that jab and set up the right hand. The only criticism you could give Wilder in that fight was that he didn't stop Stavern, because Stavern, for the most part, was a heavy bag. He wasn't moving a whole lot. How is Stavern even a mandatory? Well, that's easy. Because, Down King or Al Heyman or whoever, they just paid their way up the rankings. It happens all the time. They got these dudes paying their way up the rankings, especially like not so much WBC. Like it happens to the WBC, but it really happens more with the WBA. Like for dudes who just be paying their way up the rankings. How else do you think Shannon Briggs and Frazer Kendall are getting that high up the rankings? Like, exactly, he didn't beat anybody to earn it. Nobody to earn it. Sir Thugs, or reversely says Salvador Sanchez versus today's featherweights. Come on, man. Come on. Salvador Sanchez, I know when we talk about older fighters, it's so easy to say that he would beat these guys. Salvador Sanchez could beat pretty much any of these featherweights easily. I mean, I think so. I think he was the most skilled Mexican fighter that ever lived, honestly. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you think he is, I would challenge you to go watch the Wilfredo Gomez fight. Yeah, if you go, yeah. You know the numbers? 56? Yeah. All right, cool. No, I got you. No problem. Is WBC protecting Wilder? I think it's very possible. It's very possible, man. I know he was there. It's funny because I want to tell you guys a story. If you guys got time to listen to a story, you guys want to hear a story? I got some interesting stories to tell you. I'll tell you an interesting story if you're interested in hearing one. Just let me know in the comments. Are you guys interested in hearing my stories about what I've seen? Anyway, I'll just tell it anyway. Forget about it. So Deontay Wilder, I remember during the WBC convention, because if you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see it, but like way up there is my credential for the WBC. convention. I went to the WBC convention because it was right here. Like I live in the city. I live in the city called Dania, and Dania is a city that is about 15 minutes from Fort Lauderdale, and it's about 40 minutes from Miami. So I'm sandwiched right in between Miami and Fort Lauderdale. And Dania is close to this other city called Hollywood. Hollywood is like literally across the street. And in Hollywood, there's this very luxurious hotel called the Diplomat Hotel, and that's where the WBC convention was held this year. So I had a chance to go. It was in my hometown, and I remember just being like, they were there for 3 days. I think it was the third day of the WBC awards, and we went to dinner. It was me and my on my channel. I saw him because he wanted to meet GGG. I snuck up with me, went, and he met GGG. He got a picture with Gennady Golovkin, which was like one of the best moments of his life. So I was glad I was able to help make that happen for him. But I just remember being there, and it was crazy because you were in this like dark room, and I remember like on one side you have Mayweather, Danny Garcia, Amir Khan, Tony Bellew, Riddick Bowe, Barkley, Hacker, what else? There were so many guys. But the reason I didn't bring this up, and I don't even know why, this is so random, but I remember I saw Don King. Don King was at the WBC convention, and the room was dark. Like the room was like really dimly lit, but you could still see everybody's faces. So like I just remember seeing Don King and the room being dark, and I remember like he had little flags, like he had the Canadian flag and the American flag, and he was like this. He had this little freaky face on. Like it was weird. Like I remember just seeing Don King's face in the dark. It'll make you cringe. So that's my story. But I also remember like you know what's funny about that? I remember towards stage as I saw him, and I remember I saw Tony Bellew. I was trying to get Tony Bellew's contact info, and he asked for a business card, and I didn't have one on me, which kind of sucks because I should be getting Tony Bellew interviews left and right. But anyway, I remember Tony Bellew wasn't standing too far from Deontay Wilder, so part of me thought now, with the knowledge I do have, is that maybe Bellew and Wilder is going to happen, because I remember they were in close proximity to that convention, like for a long period. They talk. Maybe I'm just making stories up, but yeah. It was probably the most interesting experience of covering all this stuff so far. Just seeing like all these different stuff at one time. Like, and it wasn't just like heavyweights or big names. It was also the smaller guys. Like I saw Gonzalez, Quad, little flags and hideous expressions in the dark will make you cringe. So that's what it is there. But I have for me. You want to argue for me? It's not worth much. Sir Thugs wants it signed. Why does it keep cutting in and out? It's ridiculous. Hold on, guys. This is ridiculous. I'll get this straightened out. Yeah, probably not, but it's interesting. It's interesting. But yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. Sir Thugs, you asked me, can you get an autograph? And are you asking for an autograph from me or from the fighters? I was from the fighters because an autograph from me is only worth like a quarter. My isn't worth that much yet. So yeah, Mr. Boxing today. Hold on, let me go back up. See this comment. Mr. Boxing today said, I think it would be funny if Stavern beat Wilder. However, he moves really slow, plodding, predictable. Wilder jab heavy movement will cause him problems. Stavern needs you to sit still. Yeah, exactly. It would be hilarious if it happened. That would really expose Wilder and get people like myself and others around there who think that he's not that good a lot of ammunition. So we don't want that. I think he can still beat a Stavern. I got Daniel, I got Josh Taylor, man. Josh Taylor is doing my last name. I saw him on James ago. not to mention because it's funny, I don't box like I used to. I plan on getting back to it soon, but it's funny because when I used to box, I was a southpaw. I used to shoot the right with the right hook and then the uppercut. Anyway, I like southpaw fighters because I was a southpaw myself, and he has incredible height and reach for the weight, and he's able to place his punches really well. He can punch with both hands. I like Josh Taylor, so I'm not picking against him. 13 rounds of boxing says, when are we going to do a video on boxing, bro? Hit me up. 13 rounds of boxing. I don't know. I mean, I'm open to collaborating with other people for sure. What would you want to do a video about? What happened to Amir Khan? I don't think Amir Khan has retired. I don't know what his whole. I honestly don't know what his whole thing is right now. Amir Khan, he's gone into hiding. I think he's kind of waiting for like one of those easy fights, or a fight that money opportunity that even if he knows he lose it, even if he knows that he's gonna lose it, he'll still get paid. He wants one of those types of fights. Reversely says, or Sir Thugs also asked me Canelo versus GGG who wins. Now look, oh my God, this fight, I hate it because with all the ridiculous stuff that's been going on recently with boxing, I don't know. You kind of gotta be on guard. I think Gennady Golovkin's gonna outplay him. I don't see Gennady stopping him. I really don't. I think Canelo's chin is too sturdy. Because I don't think his chin is sturdy enough to. I think his chin is too sturdy to be knocked out. To be honest with you, Gennady had to give him a slow, methodical beating and really had to destroy him to get him out of there. So I got Gennady Golovkin for sure in that fight. I know a lot of people picking Canelo. I don't see it, but Washington says Washington was beating Wilder. He was the size because he's been fighting guys smaller than him. So the size is what really made a difference in that fight, despite the fact that Washington was very limited in skills. The size and just him having a decent jab was able to give Wilder some problems. So yeah, he was. Taylor with my boy O'Hara, he's gonna be great. I think he's gonna be great. I think. Yeah, that's what I honestly, EJ. That's how I feel. I feel like GGG's gonna get robbed. I really feel like he's gonna get robbed. And I guess a Sir Thugs. I mean, I don't know if you're trolling me because I don't know why anybody would want my autograph, but I mean, I guess if you want an autograph, I mean, I'll send you one. What you can do is you can message me on here or send me an email, nelsontaylor978@gmail.com. It's in my bio on the channel. So I guess if you want an autograph, I mean, I'll send you one. I don't know what the hell. I don't know if you're being serious, but I could send you one. I guess I don't know. Taylor will be a welterweight in the next 2 years. He's massive for 140. Exactly, bro. He's like 5'10" and he's 140. Like, that's unhealthy. That's freaking unhealthy. We can do a video on Canelo versus GGG and Broner versus Garcia. Why not? I guess. I guess we can. I just want to I want to get my name out there a little more, and I want people to think about when they think about YouTube boxing community. I want my channel to be one of those names. So, yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, Josh Taylor's stealing my identity, man. He took my fighting style. He took my last name, and I don't appreciate that. So, and I'm just joking, but I like Josh Taylor. I think he's gonna do great things at 140. I think it's crazy. I was thinking about what if he fought Crawford, what would happen? I would like to see him fight Crawford. That'd be a great fight. What do you guys think? Josh Taylor or Terrence Crawford? Who you got in that fight if they ever did meet? Because Josh Taylor is much bigger than Terrence. I think 2 inches taller. For Terrence. Yeah, just so hold on. I don't know why. I don't know if you're trolling me, but just in case you aren't, Sir Thugs. I mean, I guess if you're not trolling me, send me an email. Send me an email right there to nelsontaylor@gmail.com, and I'll sign a paper or something. I don't know. Here. Send me like an email of your address. Daniel, you can go to the Joshua fight in Vegas to see a British. I don't know, maybe cool. I want to Britain see a British. I want to actually go to London or Liverpool. Like, I want to actually experience the real thing. I don't want to experience a British crowd of an American environment. I want to experience the freaking. I want to experience it in its purest form. Crawford has better overall skills. I think he's more elusive. He is more elusive. It's just the size and the punch placement of Taylor, I think, is really good. My man, Mr. Boxing Today says, what do you think of the 168-pound tournament, the World Boxing Super Series? He's rolling with the Minnesota boy, Rob Brandt, and we know why you're rolling with him, Mr. Boxing Today. If you guys don't know, Mr. Boxing Today, he's from the Minnesota area, which is also where Rob Brandt is from. And Mr. Boxing Today used to box a little bit. He was sparring. He's a big guy. He's a former basketball player. I believe he was like the leading rebounder for Minnesota State high school basketball. So you know he can hoop, and he was boxing for a little bit, and he sparred Rob Brandt before Rob Brandt was like really a world champion or a contender, and so he likes Rob Brandt a lot. I like Rob Brandt. I think he's my dark horse to win it all. I think he has the skills to do it. But personally, I'm going with Caleb Smith. I think Caleb Smith is a really good talent, really special talent. The length, the punching, he can punch going backwards. He can punch going forward. He's a really good fighter. I like Caleb Smith. If you haven't seen him, Mr. Boxing Today, I would advise you to go check out Caleb Smith because that's who I'm picking to win the tournament. I think he's got a really good chance of winning. I wouldn't mind seeing how Rob does against him, though. I think if Rob can beat him, he can win the whole tournament. But yeah, Sir Thug, send me that email. Send me that email. Taylor is only 25. He's only going to get better. That's a scary thing. Josh Taylor's only going to get better. Like, because O'Hara Davies, like, despite what people want to say about him, O'Hara Davies had the experience finally of being in the ring with a good veteran like Derry Matthews. I mean, it was a fight he was supposed to win, but he still got that experience, and he's awkward. He can punch, but Josh Taylor just dissected the hell out of him. Dissected him, broke him down. It had, in my opinion, that was the most complete boxing performance of this year, start to finish. You know, just everything, counter punching, punch placement, jabs, everything. He did everything right in that fight. A-level performance from Josh Taylor. Sir Thug's True School Sports Rules boxing channel ever. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. We try our best. Daniel O'Brien says Groves versus Jamie Cox. Who wins? Now, Jamie Cox, again, got to do more homework. But from what I know, I believe he's a southpaw. I don't know a ton about Jamie Cox, but I mean, based on how people are talking about him, I mean, I'd be glad to say Groves. I can't really give you a great assessment of that fight, but I think Groves will at least get past the first stage. Hold on. I'm gonna take your email down, Sir Thug, because I don't know. It's a first. I never thought someone want my autograph, but shout out to you. You're the first. Taylor had 200 amateur fights. O'Hara had 20. Yeah, I know that. O'Hara was one of those guys that picked up boxing later in life and didn't have a big amateur career, and he turned pro because they said he had a pro style. Like, so I get it. Josh Taylor was definitely the more experienced fighter. But I think O'Hara was still gonna go on to have a pretty good career for himself. He needed an experience like this because guys usually it's seldom that guys that pick up boxing later in life stay undefeated. Like the guys that picked up boxing that come to mind later in life, like Brian Jennings, Nayo Inoue, guys like that. I mean, Nayo Inoue is an anomaly. He's an anomaly to me. Navids. at hotmail .com NAVEEDS. Oh, BMW. Naveed BMW at Hotmail. Okay, so BMW. Hold on, guys. BMW. Naveed's BMW at hotmail.com. All right, man. I'll get something done, man. Naveed's BMW. Naveed's BMW at hotmail. Okay, I got it. I got you saved. So yeah, expect something soon. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. So thank you. Eubank is a dark horse for the tournament. I think he could be. Yeah, I mean, obviously he has to actually get past Arthur Abraham first, which is not a given. I mean, it's something he should do if he's at a certain level, but it's not a given. So we have to see if he can. But he could definitely be a dark horse. I see his athleticism and his strength being a massive problem for a lot of these guys. Do you think Roman needs a KO Biasi to win? If so, I think consistent body work will be imperative. Well, it's funny. I think he has the ability to stop Biasi because Biasi, he doesn't have better feet than Roman. Roman showed the ability after the knockdown to, okay, if I'm in front of you, he could step around him, creating new punching angles, and boom, he could really create those angles and land some effective punches to the body. So I think Roman needs to stop Biasi. Reason being I think Roman will stop him is because or needs to stop him, I should say. I don't know if he's gonna stop him, but I think he needs to stop him is because Roman's relationship with the WBC is very bad. They don't like him for whatever reason. So I don't see him getting a decision. If he does get a decision, it's probably just set up a trilogy. But I hope that I genuinely hope that Roman can get the job done and stop this guy. Abraham just missed weight. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. That's his ass. Reverse Lee, he did. Sir Thug says you're going to be on TV and very famous. Don't forget your true fans when you become filthy rich. Hey man, I don't know if that'll ever happen, but by the grace of God, if I ever become filthy rich, that'd be fantastic. And I don't even want to be. To be honest with you guys, I really don't even want to be filthy rich. I just want to have enough money to like travel and live comfortably. I don't need to be rich. The champ is here. How long have you been? Or he says, how long have you been following boxing, champ? Well, I've been following boxing. I'll say it like this. The first boxing match I ever watched in my life, I was 6 years old. It was 2001. My dad and a lot of my family members were my family's majority of my family is Puerto Rican. So I grew up watching a lot of Puerto Rican fighters like Felix Trinidad, Miguel Cotto. So as a kid, I was kind of a casual boxing fan. Believe it or not, I was more into baseball. When I was a kid, my dream, what I really wanted to do, I wanted to play baseball. I wanted to play second base for the Marlins because I'm a big Marlins fan, and that's what I wanted to do. But as I grew older, I picked up boxing a little bit later in life, kind of like O'Hara Davies. And probably around like 2009, 2010, I had started following boxing a lot more closely. 2009, 2010. I'd watch some fights here and there in between, that time. I'd watch like the Tarver fights with Roy Jones and all those guys. But, I guess that what I'll say is I've been boxing on a hardcore level, I would say for 7 years. 7, 8 years I've been following boxing like really hardcore. But for the majority of my life, I've been watching boxing casually for my whole life, pretty much. So Abraham missed the first time, but he made weight now once. Okay, great. Thank you for the update. Yeah, man, that's good for him. I mean, I don't know how it's gonna affect him. I mean, missing weight. Reversely says opinion on Ivan Calderon. Ivan Calderon, probably one of the most underappreciated fighters of the last decade or so. One of the best little man to ever grace the boxing ring. Wasn't the pound list. Ivan Calderon had all the skills in the world. I think it's crazy. I remember I was talking about Ivan Calderon a lot during the whole Andre Ward, Roman Gonzalez arguments. And I was saying that Ivan Calderon was above people that Ward beat on the pound list. I think I said something like that. So, no, he's a great fighter, and definitely one of the Puerto Rican greats. What do you guys want to talk about? Talk to me. You know, it's funny. Tomorrow, I guess I'll tell you guys some stuff going on in my life. So tomorrow, I'm actually going to it's Friday right now here in America. So tomorrow, Saturday, tomorrow here in South Florida, in Fort Lauderdale. I live in Dania, so Fort Lauderdale is about 15 minutes away. Tomorrow in Fort Lauderdale, Canino's boxing gym, which is where I used to box for a couple of years. Canino's boxing gym, they're having an amateur boxing show at this real at this amateur show at this really like nice hotel, and I'm gonna go there tomorrow. My boy Josh is making his amateur debut, so big shouts out to the homie Josh Rodriguez, aka the Dania Destroyer. I'll be there tomorrow. Maybe go there with my camera, get some videos for you guys, so show you guys about the South Florida boxing scene. I'm gonna go there tomorrow. So yeah, I'm doing that tomorrow. We got the fights tomorrow. I'm gonna have a busy day tomorrow. This is what a boxer looks like, not the running and holding we see today. That's true. Very, very true. Reverse. EJ Craver says, who is the most underrated fighter in your opinion? That's a great question, man. There's three names when you ask that question. There's like 3 or 4 names that come to mind. Joe Calzaghe, and I know Joe Calzaghe, Charlie Burley, and Michael Nunn. Michael Nunn to me was very underrated. Like I'm a huge I told you guys when I was boxing, I was a southpaw, so I used to see a lot of southpaw fighters, and one of my favorite top fighters of all time is Michael Nunn. I think Michael Nunn was one of the best middleweights. He was beating up guys like Frank Tate, Marlon Starlin. He had the 160-pound division on lock back in the 80s. And then he took that loss to James Toney, which was an upset for James Toney. I think James Toney, that's his best win of his career, in my opinion. But I think Michael Nunn is very underrated. I think Joe Calzaghe is underrated, believe it or not, because people just say he beat Ward and he beat Bernard Hopkins and Roy Jones Jr. And only because they were old, they didn't want to give him his credit. But I thought he would have given those guys problems at any point in their careers. I think he was a tremendous fighter. Rocky Marciano, you know, people say he was overrated. I think he's underrated because to be a guy, you know, no matter who he fought, you know, he fought these guys when they were older. But people forget the fact that Joe Louis was actually a favorite, that bookies had him as a favorite to beat Rocky Marciano. And I believe Joe Louis outweighed Rocky Marciano by about 20 or 30 pounds. And I've talked to 2 people. There's been 2 people that I talked to that were around Rocky Marciano while he was alive, while he was training, and that saw him physically train. And both those 2 people, it was Don Turner, who I recently interviewed, and this one guy, Frank, from Gleason's Boxing Gym in New York. He's been around boxing for years. These guys both saw Rocky Marciano in person, live and in color. Told me that he is the most conditioned fighter they ever seen in their life. And I believe them because Rocky Marciano was built just like that, a rock. So, yeah, Rocky Marciano was underrated. I said Rocky Marciano. Charlie Burley, you know, part of Black Murderers Row. They did a lot of these guys. They want to fight Charlie Burley, you know. And reversely, I have watched that video from Thunderdome. Thunderdome Boxing Talk and me are actually really good friends, and you know, every now and then I'll call him and we'll talk for hours upon hours about boxing and this whole YouTube thing. So, you know, yeah, man, Thunderdome's a good friend of mine. So I watched a lot of his Charlie Burley videos. But yeah, Mike and Burley, 400 fighters right there. To answer your question, EJ, I should say, not eBay, EJ. Who is your top 5 current fighters? Okay, so in no chronological order, my top 5 favorite fighters, my top 5 current fighters, as far as who the best is: Roman Gonzalez, Lomachenko, Terrence Crawford, Gennady Golovkin, And then I'm not gonna say Andre Ward because Andre Ward, with all the illegal stuff, he can't be top 5 pound for pound. Gonzalez, Kovalev. Well, actually, no, Kovalev can't even top 5 because he lost. I don't even want to put Kovalev there. Gonzalez, GGG, Terrence Crawford, Lomachenko, and Shinsuke Yamanaka. Shinsuke Yamanaka. Dude has freaking 13 title defenses. He's been a world champion since I was in the 11th grade. You got to have them there. Now, as far as my top 5 favorite fighters in boxing, completely different. My top 5 favorite fighters in boxing are Roman Gonzalez, Adrian Granados, Adrian Granados, Manny Pacquiao, Terrence Crawford, and I don't know. The fifth spot's always the hardest. I don't know. We'll leave the fifth spot open. We'll leave the fifth spot open. Probably Kell Brook or Earl Spence, one of those guys. To answer your question, EJ, absolutely. I think that would have to happen. You would have to have them be pound for pound number one. And I know pound for pound is more about skills, but I mean, if you're the heavyweight champion, you are the baddest man on the planet. You are the man in the division in boxing. So if Anthony Joshua is able to snatch all these titles, I think he should be there at some point. And I'm sure if he's able to do that, he's going to have to show a pretty high skill level. So that's what it is. Yeah, I think so. Gore, I don't know how to say his name, but he said that they're doing a pay-per-view in the USA for the Eubank Abraham fight, $29.95. You got me messed up. I ain't paying no $29.95 for Eubank and Abraham. I'll wait for it to come out on YouTube. I'm good. I still have fights to catch up on watching. Like, honestly, I got to catch up on some fights. Yeah. Anything else, guys? Any other questions? You know what's crazy? I really want to go. I know I've said this a lot of times, and I know there's people from the UK in here, but I really want to go to the UK, man. Like in this next in the next year and a half or so, I would love to go to the UK. Obviously, like I showed you earlier, I take lots of pride. I have been a fan. I've only been a fan of the team for maybe 8 months, but I really love Everton, man. I love this team, and it's funny because it's crazy. Just to show you guys from the UK, because I know I've been getting some funny comments. Like I've been getting comments from a lot of the UK people, because I know in England, you guys are really passionate about your English football or soccer. You guys are like, a lot of you guys are questioning, like, oh, Brendan, why do you like Everton so much? And you guys are questioning my fandom. Like, look, bro, I bought these 2 books recently because I'm got a picture, a little of the great, a little bit of Everton Lord Ball, so got that, and then I got another here, the Beatles, all right, and that's interesting book. So toffees, and I love that. It's like England too, man. I'll leave behind the box. Liverpool mistake. I mean, it will. Welcome in, but yeah, man, it's tough. More. refresh. Right now. What city are you? I'm not even sure if I'm live right now because my computer's being weird. But if you hear me, making the Cuban and then 25 Cubans. Very hissing. Come on, bro. I'm going off tangent. Come on. Come on. There you go. All right. So I should be back by now. But can you guys hear me? Okay, I'm back. I see it now. All right. Yeah, so to answer your question, Sir Thugs, yeah, I don't know if you heard me, but I'm 50% Puerto Rican, 25% Dominican, and 25% Cuban. So I'm very got a lot of flavor, I guess, as they would say. But absolutely not, man. Everton all the way. I'm supporting the Toffees. You know, I got my books right here, so been reading about the history of the club. I love the team. We've been smashing the transfer market so far. Got the Wayne Rooney to come back. It's been a fun time following the whole transfer window. But yeah, so I'm back now, so you guys should be able to see me. But what else, guys? I'm here. I'm gonna be here for maybe about an hour and a half or more. So I got time. I got all the time in the world today. Oh, kick my feet up. It says Lukaku is gone. Yeah, it sucks that he's gone. You know, one of the reasons that I became a Everton fan, believe it or not, like when the first game I ever watched of Everton was last December. They played Arsenal. They played Arsenal and we won that game 2-1. Seamus Coleman and Ashley Williams both scored a goal. We beat them and kind of turned our season around and then got back to the Europa League. So yeah, no, Lukaku was an electrifying player, but I didn't like his attitude, man. Lukaku he had a terrible attitude towards the team. He thought he was bigger than Everton. He thought he was too good for Everton. So, I'm glad he's gone and now we can move on and become a better team. And I'm not really mad about it. I think the board has done a really good job and they're going to continue to do a good job. They're saying by Monday we should land Gylfi Sigurdsson. And they're talking about Giroud, Benteke. We've done a good job so far. So I'm not really mad about Lukaku. And then we have a pretty good youth academy too. So I'm not mad. But anyway, I don't want to sit here and talk about soccer too much. I'm really excited for the season. It'll be back August 12th. So August 12th. Who knows, man? Maybe we'll do something special here on TSS. But until then, let's keep boxing for now. But yeah, let's see. What else is going on in the world of pugilism? Hey, what do you guys think about let's see. What do you guys think about I don't know, what else is there? What do you guys think? Do you guys think Adrian Broner is done if he loses to Mikey Garcia? Like, what happens if he loses? Does he become like an opponent for the rest of his career? Is he an ESPN fighter? Like, what do we make of Broner if he loses to Garcia and gets embarrassed? I don't think he will. I genuinely don't think he will. Well, no, I do think he will. I should say. I think he will because it's gonna make money. But I mean, if I were him, I wouldn't. I don't want to see that fight. Like I don't. I don't think anything's gonna change. About you know. I don't think anything's gonna really change in that fight. I really don't. I think it's gonna. I think it'll actually be worse for Klitschko. But as far as him taking the rematch, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not in his head. I mean, conventional wisdom would say that he would take the rematch. Like, why wouldn't he? It's a lot of money. If you really want to fight, you want the most money, right? Exactly, man. Like Klitschko finally had that one, like, he had that fight he'd been looking for, those moments that you kind of just like you want for a all-time great heavyweight. He had that moment. Even though he lost, he still had that signature moment when he knocked down Joshua and was just destroying him for those rounds. Like, he had that, so he should take it and keep moving. Like, honestly. Will Klitschko take the Julian Jackson versus the Charlo brothers? Dang, bruh. See, Julian Jackson was a hard puncher, but traditionally speaking, with hard punchers, they always have like soft chins, and the Charlos can box. Or Jermall Charlo can box. Jermell, I think Julian would ice Jermell. Jermall, I think, is the one that he would have problems with because Jermall has the boxing skill and he has the power. But I would pick Julian Jackson. Let me ask y'all a question. Since there's 11 people here, who is your guys' favorite boxer of all time? Let me know in the comments. Like, I want to know who do you guys like? Who's your favorite fighter right now or ever? Let me know. Mine is pretty obvious. I just typed it there. Romo Gonzalez, my favorite boxer. Dude's a beast. Takes on everybody. Can't lie though, it is crazy having all this time now, not being at work. I like it. It's pretty relaxing. The great Lennox Lewis. Yeah, I like Lennox. Reverse Lee says Roma Gonzalez. That's right. Roma Gonzalez, TBE. The real TBE. Prince Nassim Hamed. Shout out to Prince Nassim Hamed. He great fighter in his day. Inspired one of my favorite fighters out right now, which is a Kell Brook. I'm a big Kell Brook fan. Takashi Miura, Ray Leonard. You know, it's funny. One of my favorite fighters, and ironically now it's funny that like he's not just one of my favorite fighters, but now he's become my friend. Riddick Bowe. Riddick Bowe is one of my favorite fighters. In fact, I saw Riddick Bowe the other day. We were talking. Me and Riddick Bowe were talking for hours. You know what's crazy, guys? Riddick Bowe. I was talking to him about the Mayweather and McGregor fight, and he told me straight up. Riddick Bowe told me straight up that he thinks that he genuinely believes that Mayweather is destroying boxing with the way he kind of like he has that diva persona, and you know the way he's run his career. He thinks Mayweather kind of killed boxing and taking it away from the people for the love of money, if that makes sense. Daniel Bryant says Roy Jones Jr. and Nigel Benn. Oh my God, great fighters. Nassim Hamed. Okay, so we all like the same fighters pretty much. For me, yeah, Romo Gonzalez, Riddick Bowe, Bernard Hopkins, Evander Holyfield. You know, it's fine. I like Kovalev. I can probably say Kovalev. I like Kovalev a lot, man. He might be one of my favorite fighters. Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, man. Hey, let me ask you guys a question. Who do you guys will think will win the fight between Mayweather versus McGregor? I like GGG as of right now, but all time I'd probably say Ray Leonard. Yeah, but my dad's favorite fighter was Marvin Hagler, and he liked Ray Leonard too. So I've always had a soft spot for Ray Leonard because of my dad. Any fighter my dad likes, I like them because if it wasn't for my dad, I probably wouldn't like boxing. Floyd Patterson, Floyd Mayweather. Okay, that's what's up, man. Oh no, Floyd Mayweather as far as who's gonna win. Yeah, bro. I got McGregor. I think McGregor's gonna win. You know, he has the youth, he has the reach, he has the size, he has everything it takes, man. Mayweather's felt power, but he's never felt power like McGregor. McGregor punches harder than GGG. He punches harder than Canelo. He punches harder than Maidana. He punches harder than all those guys. And Mayweather feels that he's gonna go to sleep. Gonna kick his. I'm joking. I'm being stupid. I think Mayweather's gonna destroy McGregor. I think McGregor will do what he does best. He will do what he does best once once it gets real tough. He'll do what he does best and he will quit, like he's done 3 times already. Mayweather. It's funny, man. McGregor's not even the best in his own sport. Like, how are we gonna talk about him coming to boxing? He hasn't even conquered the MMA yet. I'm just joking when it comes to saying McGregor. I think McGregor is gonna get destroyed, because if you guys have been paying attention, like if you guys been paying attention, McGregor he was sparring with Chris Van Heerden, the boxer, and Chris Van Heerden's like a C-level fighter. So bam, like if Chris Van Heerden is beating Mayweather's ass, or Connor's ass. Like, what do you think Mayweather's going to do to him? Mayweather's in a whole other solar system of talent in comparison to Chris Van Heerden. And if you guys don't know Chris Van Heerden, he was a guy that Errol Spence fought as a late – he was a late replacement that Errol Spence fought on PBC, and Errol Spence beat the hell out of him in like 4 rounds or something like that. So that's like his claim to fame as far as boxing goes. Yep, Joe. I mean, I got a Joe Louis post right there, so I've always had mad respect for Joe. Yeah, right now in America, in the East Coast, it's 1:51 p.m. So the plan for today is, after I do this, I gotta go to a local coffee shop. I'm gonna go edit some videos. I have my Instagram account if you guys want to go follow. I've only made a couple posts, but True School Sports on Instagram is up and it's running. So I'm gonna be making some posts there later on today as well. I gotta get the social media thing right. I gotta get the whole. It's kind of like the fight game. Like, you know, you can be a great fighter, but you got to know how to handle your business. So it's like YouTube, man. I'm good with the YouTube stuff, but with the social media, I gotta, like, you know, improve in that area. But Reverse Lee says, what's your opinion on Pernell Whitaker? Pernell Whitaker, you know what's funny? People always say like Mayweather's the best defensive boxer, which is fine with me. But to me, man, Pernell Whitaker, best defensive boxer, man. That dude had it all. Pernell Whitaker probably one of my favorite fighters to watch, because, like I told you, when I was boxing, I used to follow a lot of. I studied a lot of southpaw, so yeah, I've always loved Pernell Whitaker, world-class fighter. Nah, I'm not gonna buy that one. I'm not buying that pay-per-view. I'm gonna wait for that one to come out on YouTube, and I'm gonna watch that later on. I'm not buying that one though. Team Stream, it's on like Bleacher Report, the Team Stream app. What's my boxing record? I never had an amateur fight. I was just a gym fighter. I didn't have any amateur fights. I wanted to go amateur, but the minute, like, it was funny because I was training. What happened was, I had been in the gym for like almost a year, and I was getting to that point where I was gonna have my first amateur fight. But then like the minute I started having that, life just kind of hit me, and I had to stop. I had to stop boxing. Like, I'm not that's not making an excuse, but like, I had to stop boxing because then, you know, bills had to be paid. I had to work more. So yeah, that's what it is. I mean, I want to have an amateur fight. I want to have one. I think at some point in my life, I want to have one amateur fight, just so I can say I had a fight. And if I win, I win. If I lose, big deal. But I want to have at least one fight. So I don't have a boxing record per se, but I did around to sparring and stuff like that in the gym. I was a gym fighter. Yeah. Oh, it was. Yeah, I think I might have heard that somewhere. Any video on the internet? Nah, I don't have any in the internet, man. I just went there and just did my sparring, and that was it. But you know what? If I start boxing again, which I'm going to, I really want to, because I got my friends Josh and Alex. They're boxing now. And they're both young, and I know that there's some things that I could teach them in the ring, that they're not kind of comprehending right now. So I want to be there just for them. And should I spar again, we'll have some footage on there. We'll put it up on TSS. You know, good, bad, or indifferent. What do you think about the system set up to match opponents in box, like number 1, number 2, had to fight type deal? I like that. You know, I like that deal. I actually like that whole ranking system idea. But the problem with the ranking system idea is that there's a lot of ways to manipulate the rankings. Like, there's a lot of ways to manipulate the rankings. Like, guys can pay their way up the rankings, and you could kind of just, like, you know, promoters pay their fighters up the rankings. So that's where the number 1, number 2 thing loses its value. Like, it needs to be more honest, and you need an organization that can kind of police these sanctioning bodies and punish them if they unjustly put a guy number 1. Like, if a guy hasn't done jack shit at the weight and all of a sudden he's just bumped up to number 2 because they want a certain guy to win, then no, that's ridiculous. So I like the idea of it, but I don't like the way it's being executed at this current moment, if that makes sense. Reversely says Hosami Hasagawa was a southpaw too. I recommend him. You check him out. I will check him out for sure. Check him out. McGregor can do some awards trash. Fist, grab, hold, and punch Mayweather. Yeah, hopefully that happens, man. Hopefully he can go study some Andre Ward. Hey, let me ask you guys a question. Are you guys familiar with the TV show Undisputed with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp and Joy Taylor? She's fine as hell, by the way. She's really fine. Like, if I didn't have a girlfriend, like if Joy Taylor wasn't, if I didn't have an incredibly fine female as my girlfriend that I love very, very much, go after Joy Taylor. That woman is fine. But are you guys familiar with the show Undisputed on Fox Sports 1? Yes. She's very. Well, who are we talking about? My Joy Taylor or my girl? I mean, you guys haven't seen my girl. I've never had my girl in my videos, so you guys wouldn't know what she looks like, but she's pretty nice. Joy Taylor's very hot. Joy Taylor's from South Florida too, because her brother is Jason Taylor, and he used to play for the Miami Dolphins, and she used to work at a local radio station here, $7.90 tickets. So man, I've been looking at Joy Taylor for years. She's always been fine. Can we see a picture of your girl? LOL. Nah, man. Not right now. Not right now. What I'm trying to do actually is, believe it or not, I've been trying to get my girl into boxing. So I've been trying to get my girl into boxing. So eventually, once that happens, I want to try to interview my girlfriend about boxing. If that makes sense. That might sound corny, but yeah. And I want to try to get my girlfriend to give me a drop. You know, when I have people, when I have like fighters or people say, "Hey, this is so and so," and you're watching True School Sports. Like, I want my girlfriend. Her name is Serena. It's Serena, but with the Spanish pronunciation, so it's pronounced Serena. So I want Serena to give me a drop one day, and then you guys will see her that way. So she'll be like, "Oh, hi, this is BT's girl, and you're watching True School Sports." Well, I don't know. I've been trying to convince her, but no luck so far. But we'll get her eventually. What about Sinisa Estrada? What about Sinisa Estrada reverse? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. EJ so there's wants to see a picture of my girl, but you'll see her eventually when the time is right. You guys will see her. I don't know. She's all shy and stuff, camera shy. The reason I brought up the show Undisputed, though, the reason I brought it up in Joy Taylor is that I don't know if you guys saw, but Mayweather Sr. was on Fox Sports 1 and in the show Undisputed, and he was talking about like basically how he was talking about how the fight with Conor McGregor and Mayweather was going to go, and he was giving about how he's going to beat him. He was saying he's going to feint him and he was going to break his rhythm and all this stuff. And Skip Bayless is like, well, he's just going to run around the ring and jab and tip tap toe to a decision. So what I'm saying is this: he asked Skip Bayless, if he knows what a pull counter is. Obviously, a pull counter is when somebody throws a punch, you slip your head back. So Skip Bayless had no idea what a pull counter was, and his boxing knowledge got exposed. It was bad. It was pretty fun. You shoot over the top with him. I would recommend he can go check that out. The right hand fighter or southpaw. Mayweather losing to McGregor would be good for boxing, in my opinion. You think so? Well, EJ, please explain to me, why do you think Mayweather losing to McGregor will be good for boxing? Because I think it. To be honest with you. Daniel Bryan, tell them like donate, get them to say True School and shake their asses. Man, I don't need to go the Dante Boxing Nation route and get the girls with the little booty shorts and say. I'm good, man. I don't need any thoughts shaking their behinds in my videos, asking people to subscribe. If I want to do it, I'm gonna do it because people like me, not because you got a nice light Dominican supermodel shaking her ass with these shorts. People would watch him hoping he would get sparked out. Yeah, it would kind of be like the Ali effect, like, or the Mayweather effect. Like Mayweather was beating guys for years, and people wanted to see him lose. Heck, I wanted to. Damn it, man! I wanted to see him lose, and so he got my money a couple times. Never again though. After a certain point, but yeah, man, it's 2:02, man. I've been here for a minute. But yeah, man, I don't need any I don't need any thoughts to get subscribers, man. I'm good, man. I'm trying to figure out though, like, because I remember when I first saw Dante's outro, because Dante had the outro with the girls shaking their booties, and they had the subscribe on their booty shorts. I'm trying to figure out where the hell do you get booty shorts with the YouTube subscribe button on it. That was pretty innovative. I can't lie. He lost to Pacquiao and Castillo. Yeah, he did. I actually have a Castillo. I remember more. He loved me. I lived in my old apartment. Damn, me for 2 hours. I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time talking to you guys. I'm not getting crazy numbers, but I'm gonna try to do this more often, and probably gonna go somewhere more better than my house, because my house, the internet where I live is trash. So eventually, go somewhere different. You know what, man? Hey guys, this crap. Wait for it. Come back. With Joshua Wilder pay-per-view in America, I think Wilder still needs to build his profile here in America. To be honest with you, I really think he does. I genuinely think he needs to build his profile here. Actually, just like the world, he's just crazy. You know, I got Sullivan Barrera in that one. Was it Mira? I think Mira. I think I got Mira. I got Mira and I got Mira and Sullivan Barrera. Yeah, what you guys think? What do you guys think? I got Mira and Sullivan Barrera. And let me ask you guys a question because I'm assuming that we're all boxing fans here. Have you guys ran into like any UFC fans, like deranged UFC fans who have been coming up to you saying that McGregor's gonna kick Mayweather's ass? Like, do you guys know anybody like that in your life? Damn, I can't lie. This shit is tiring, bro. Minutes or so. Oh God, really? That's crazy. So I'm sure they're all saying things like he has the youth to reach the size. He's gonna Mayweather's never felt power like this before. Most of my friends like MMA, but they're not. Jay. Yeah, I know quite a few people who like MMA. Like when I was working at my job, I used to work at this pizzeria, this local pizzeria here. I used to make pizzas and stuff. And one of the delivery drivers is a massive MMA fan, and he would say, "Man, I remember before they made this fight happen, he was like, oh, I gotta see this fight. I gotta see Conor kick his ass.' Like he was really excited about it." The Pacquiao Horn card. Now, the main event was fun to watch. Obviously, that was a good fight. Bad decision. Jerwin Cajas, great performance. I thought he had a really good performance against I forgot his name. And then aside from that, I thought it was completely unnecessary to put freaking Shane Mosley Jr. on the undercard. The dude is a club fighter. You know, one of my friends, a guy named Mark Christopher Atkins, he fought undefeated. And Mark Christopher Atkins has been used as a sparring partner for Earl Spence, and he beat Shane Mosley Jr. He exposed him a while ago. So I was trying to figure out how the hell did he get on a big card like this? Like, it makes no sense to me. Aside from that, I thought it was a pretty solid card. Good for boxing, especially here in America where boxing is struggling to gain a following beyond just the boxing fans. That's true. That's true. What is Ireland like? Like the country itself? I've never been to Ireland, but what is the country like? Is it nice? Do you like it? Yup, 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 yup. Mixed it right now. Yep, but McGregor's in a kick. Really? So you don't like Ireland? It's boring. I'm not missing much then. I'm not missing much in the streets of Ireland. Reverse Lee says opinion on Carlos Monzon. Carlos Monzon, all-time great middleweight. Still got to dig more into his career, but all-time great middleweight. That's all I can say, man. I know there's that. I really haven't dug into his career like that. He's one of those fighters that I know is great, but I haven't really dug in as much as I should. The fight is for three types of people. One, MMA fans who hate boxing, hoping Conor pulls an upset. Two, very casual fans, mostly women who only go after famous names they heard and go to fight parties. And then three, yeah. That's what it is, man. Like, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. The fight is for those types of people. And those types of people only. Because it sure as hell ain't for me. I love boxing. So, like, when it pissed me off, too, because I remember, like, being at the WBC convention. There was a part where I was hanging out with Ellie Seckback because all these big channels, they know me. They know who Brendan is. And I was hanging out with Ellie because me and Ellie are cool. And Ellie was interviewing Danny Garcia. Ellie was asking everybody about this freaking fight. It was so annoying back then too. So now it's even more annoying that the fight got made. Absolutely, I think the WBC. And it's funny. I don't know if you've ever saw this video, Reverse, but when I was there, and they had that tequila, that Amaro tequila, the WBC edition, and they were saying that it supports fighters all around. And tell me how it supports the fighters around the world. So I've always thought that like WBC's been funneling money and everything they do is in the best interest of themselves. So yeah, of course it'd help them if an American or a Mexican is a champion because they can make the sanctioning fees higher. Why do you think they create so many BS belts like the diamond belt, the silver belt, the red belt, the rainbow belt, the Lucky Charms belt? Like they have so many freaking belts, bro. It's because of the sanctioning fee. It always comes back to the sanctioning fee and how much can the sanctioning body get from the fighters. Maybe, man, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they were trying to get the ball off Mura. Perhaps. Yeah, I can't lie. I'm getting like mad tired doing this. This is like it's really weird doing these in the daytime. I can't lie. It's really weird doing these in the daytime because I really want to like just like. One of my trainers. Oh man, who's one of your trainers? Now they want Yamanaka's belt. Yeah, probably. Yamanaka's been a champion since I was in the 11th grade, and I've been at high school for 4 years. So it's pretty crazy. What do I think of Luis Ortiz suing AJ if he doesn't fight him? I think it's just another. The lawsuits happen all the time. Boxing. I almost feel like law and lawyers and suing is almost it goes hand in hand with boxing. So, I mean, I don't know what AJ's stance is on that, but I really don't have much of an opinion on that. If it happens, it happens. He's gonna sue. LOL. Golovkin versus Roy Jones Jr. Oh, really? It did? You know what? Then in that case, you know what? Gore, I can't even say it. Gore Guruga. I don't want to say the name, but the Mayweather McGregor press conference just started. So guys, I'm gonna get off. It's been great talking to you. Very last bit of it. We'll try to do these more often. I'm getting a little tired, and I got other things to do today. So I got stuff to do on Instagram and stuff to do on the channel. So thank you for tuning into the hangout. Talking to you guys. What's his name? What's the guy's name? I have your email. Forgot his name. Where is it? Sir Thugs. I'm gonna sign something. Do my best to sign you an autograph and write you a nice little letter, and then I'll email you. I'll be emailing you very shortly. So thank you guys. Thank you EJ. Thank you Reverse Lee. Thank you Champ is here. Thank you Centurion's son. All you guys. See you guys soon, and stay tuned for the videos coming out. And yeah, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from dating it. So until next time, take care, guys.